Okay, Arjun, what a pleasure to meet you, and what a pleasure to bring this conference almost to a close. 3 exciting days, very dynamic days, and we're going to go out with a bang.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Absolutely. So our topic for today is the future of tech broadly writ, but the future of hard tech and soft tech. We'll get a chance to talk about both, but first of all, Arjun Bajaj is the director of Videotex International. You've been part of the origin of Videotex, and perhaps you can tell us a little bit about the company, which of course has a gigantic footprint in the television market in India. It is the largest, I understand, the largest OEM and ODM in India for other brands, but perhaps you can tell us a bit more about the history of the company and how it has evolved since its founding.
Right. Thank you so much to the Next team for having me here and having you as my moderator. So I'll tell you a brief about our company. Videotex is now 4 decades old. So we are 42 years young now, as I would say. And we are one of the oldest companies to have transformed from the era of the black and white TVs to the era of, say, mini LED TVs today. So you can say Videotex is the only company who's evolved from the black and white era to the colored TV era to the plasma, LCD, and the LED TV segment that we are. So I am actually a 3rd generation if I talk about the overall structure of the company, but 2nd generation when it comes to manufacturing, because the 1st generation, which was my grandfather, they were into the hardcore distribution of televisions. But when my father came in, he decided that no, not distribution, but I think the future is about manufacturing. And so when I was born, of course, I was always put in my mind that, okay, manufacturing is the way to go. And so that's how my education and that's why my focus has always been into manufacturing as well. So Videotex now is into a complete backward integration setup. And we are manufacturing about 7 to 8 sizes of TVs. And we are one of the only companies who have a large network, or I would say a large portfolio of operating systems that are available. So be it LG's WebOS TV operating system or Samsung's Tizen OS, Google TV, and we have the rights for all of these operating systems which are embedded in the hardware that we are making. And so we have 2 manufacturing units here in India which are based out of Greater Noida. So the Make in India initiative, which was started by our Prime Minister over the decade, we have been actually contributing to that from much before. And ever since that came into place, we have taken that mission even more seriously. So Videotex, I would say, yes, we are definitely a leading player in the ODM space, and we are also catering to all the leading brands that you see available here in the industry. So I'm not going to be able to name those brands, but yes, they're all the leading brands that you see everywhere. And we are the tech providers, we are the back-end players who are manufacturing the next-gen technology for all these brands who can focus on building the next brands, and they can focus on their marketing and sales while we are there as their supporting partners in the manufacturing space. So this is all in all about Videotex. In a gist, we are a television manufacturing company who designs the complete product, manufactures it in India, white labels it for the brands that are selling. So we are the complete back-end setup for all the leading brands.
Fantastic. That's a great story. Arjun, I know that India has been working very hard to build up its manufacturing sector broadly. And Videotex is a great example of a manufacturing success in India. Could you say a bit more about what you have learned through the success of your own company that could be useful for others who are trying to set up manufacturing here in India? What are some of the competitive advantages? What are the sorts of competitive advantages that India has for manufacturing television sets relative to it being manufactured elsewhere or maybe just assembled here? I mean, what advice would you give to others who are trying to do the same thing in other domains?
Okay. So since we've been into this field for almost 42 years now, so we understand the complete in and out. It's not an easy business for any new entrant to come into and try to disrupt it, because it requires a lot of technical know-how, a lot of experience, because you have to deal with the supply chain issues from day to day. And of course, you have to also see what are the geopolitical issues that are happening in the country and plan things accordingly. So for anyone who's entering into this business, I would say it's really not the right space to enter, because we already have very, very strong companies who are building for the future. But yes, of course, there are always new companies who could enter in to support this ecosystem rather than compete against this ecosystem. So I would say, yes, definitely there's an ease of doing business for companies who've already been into the manufacturing space, because we have a pool of talent that's available here. We have strong engineers here. We already have large setups. And in fact, if I have to talk about why we are present in Greater Noida, because we already have a very strong ecosystem that's there. We definitely have less value addition at the moment when it comes to the product, the value of the product. But at the same time, in order to support the manufacturing, we have a complete ecosystem that's there. We have the vendors, we have the supply chain required for the local parts that are available, be it the packaging industry or the BOPP parts industry, or when it comes to speakers. We have all of these industries that are there, but of course, the major players like the display fab and semiconductors, we are getting there. India is getting there, and the initiative that's been taken by the country, which is the semiconductor mission, we are already running strong. If you must have heard recently, India has already inaugurated one of the AMTP facilities for semiconductors in Gujarat, and we already have 3 more companies that are lined up for the next semiconductor facility setup, and we have 10 more projects that are coming up, and a total investment of $20 billion have already been sanctioned, with almost $10 billion being supported by the government. So we're already working very, very strong to become the next technological or the global manufacturing hub. And if we can really take control of semiconductor as well, which is the heart of all modern technology, and in fact, our product, which is semiconductor, is the most crucial bit. So I think that's the way to go for any company now or the country.
Great. So you perfect segue to the next question I had, which is you noted the advancement towards semiconductors, manufacturing semiconductors here in India, putting up fabs in Gujarat and other places possibly. And that's tremendous, because having manufacturing of semiconductors in country is enormously important in a world where so much of it is bottlenecked in a few places. And semiconductors is a very complex industry with a massive supply chain that cuts across many, many countries, many, many components. Where do you see the future of semiconductor manufacturing in India from your vantage point? Do you see it being a growth sector, or is it going to be limited by some of the inherent constraints that India has had historically?
Okay, that's a very good question. So let me come to the topic, which is hard tech. There's a reason why it's called hard tech, because it's not easy. So let me put it that way. So for any, if you see with the recent geopolitical issues, or if I talk about the 2020 event of COVID, the countries, or I would say the companies, in fact, have realized that they need a plus one. They cannot be just reliant on one country who can provide them everything. So India took that as an initiative and took it as an opportunity to be able to become that plus one where we started working on. But yes, it's definitely hard, but it's always, it matters who takes the first step. So since there are a lot of initiatives and a lot of investment that other countries are also willing to make towards the chip manufacturing, but India is already, I think, way ahead than those countries, because we've already initiated and we've already inaugurated that. But definitely it's, we have, like I mentioned, we have a talent of the engineers that are available. We have the aspire to become one of the next global manufacturing hubs. but it's not going to be an easy ride. We definitely need training. We definitely need a lot of investment in R&D. We need that advancement in the infrastructure of the country. We are going there, but yes, it's not an easy ride. But yes, since we've taken that initiative, I'm sure we're not going to go back. And once we're able to do that, it's going to be the designing as well as the manufacturing that should go on together in order to win this initiative that we've taken. So yes, it's definitely not an easy ride, but it's definitely the right path, I would say.
Yeah, so I think in terms of some of the inputs we're talking about, India certainly has a big talent pool. Has one of the largest chip design talent pools anywhere in the world. What about some of the other critical pieces that are needed for scaling up and building fabs, such as access to water? Do you see that as a constraint? Because India does have a water crisis ongoing.
Yeah. See, we definitely need the technology. It's not that if we've taken that initiative and we can just do it ourselves. We definitely need a support. We definitely need to send our people outside to learn and or invite some of the other players who are leading in this, like we've done this already, to come and set up those facilities and be a part of the talent that's available and train them. But at the same time, I would say, but at the same time, like I mentioned before, India is not just a market that's there. We, in fact, the kind of population that we have, we are a market in ourselves. We can support so much supply, or we can supply endless products. And in terms of consumer electronics, or in terms of, say, for example, my industry, which is TVs and appliances, we have that market that's available, and we can supply endless products to the country and to the people that's there. So yes, I think we're on the right path, and hopefully in the next decade we would be one of the major global manufacturing hubs. I would say that, yes.
Great. So the card I just got says time's up.
Yes, that's what I could read that.
But no conversation on technology can be completed without a 30-second soundbite on AI. So your 30-second soundbite on AI and how that's factoring into your business.
So AI, definitely. So I would say TV is no longer a hardware or just a display product. It's a hardware which has been infused with software, which is AI today. And it's no longer just a device which has the display or the semiconductor in it. It's infused with a lot of AI in terms of voice, in terms of user behavior, in terms of, it's a connected device in itself. And it's learning your habits, it's learning your the way you're watching the shows, the way you're watching the content, and the way you're interacting with the product. And with the kind of investments and with the kind of facilities and the products that are available, it's also interacting. In fact, I would say TV is the next product for the home to be able to control all your devices that are there. And that's where all the operating systems and the hardware that are being developed are working towards. So that's my bit on AI. That's where we are going with our product.
Okay, it's a great place to end, where we're going to go into the future where not only are we watching our TVs, but our TVs are also watching us.
Exactly.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.